All right. And we are here with episode number 19. I forgot to turn on the intro animation audio again, so it cut in like halfway through.
Oh my god, that's a close picture of Billy.
I know. I always forget this is what happens when we don't have Billy and we don't have a guest, is we get this fucking monstrosity on the screen instead.
Yes. We get highly zoomed in look at Billy's fantastic,
mustache
handsome
hair.
nose and mustache.
I look at the mustache hair, to be honest.
It's a real nice
Is that
close-up
what
of
happens
the
to
teaser.
your eyes when you get older? Or is he looking directly into a light and it probably hurts?
That is Billy looking directly into a ring light, not the Omega symbol miraculously appearing in his iris.
Oh, yeah.
Although the latter would be pretty cool.
It would be, yeah.
That's actually my final form.
Ah.
Your final form is Billy. Yeah, I can believe that.
No. The Omega's fine.
I see.
I will have long hair probably for a while, so I would like to think that I would have.
We actually collectively have pretty long hair on this podcast. It's
Yeah,
kind of
if
interesting.
it doesn't look it, but like, yeah, we're all compensating for Billy's complete bowling ball smooth skull. But yeah, if I take mine down, I do have quite a.
You should just
I've got the
do
longest
that
though,
all
right?
the time. Phil, I don't know why you don't go
Yeah.
on broadcasts like that. Like that's
Self-respect, Jeff. Self-respect.
Oh, is that what I'm lacking? Oh. I see.
Self-respect is the reason I just have my hair in a man bun instead.
It's okay because at LAN we decided that collectively everyone decided, well, a couple of us decided that I had the second best hair at LAN, which I'm fucking furious about.
I mean, second place is pretty good.
Mm.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Wait, no, so who's
but
first?
Pando's not invited to the next LAN. I've told Will. Pando doesn't know yet. He's not allowed in.
That's a shame.
Is that why I wasn't there?
The power you wield.
You would have been third place
sorry.
then. You'd have been
Jeff,
third
you would
place.
have been top like 10. I'll give you top 10.
Oh, brutal. Brutal.
Wow.
Top 10's
Kidding?
good.
This majestic mane isn't worth top 3? I am offended.
Well,
okay.
a lot
That's
of really
episode
stylish
canceled.
people at IV. Yeah.
That is-
Okay. Cool.
that is
Graham
it.
had pretty good hair.
Thanks for coming
A
out.
couple other people. All my had pretty
Look,
good hair.
look. This is a news item later down the run of show. You can talk about their hair later.
Well, I think that's a good way to segue.
Is it?
Yeah. Why not? It's as good as any. I think it's as good as we're gonna get.
Fair.
Because we have news. That was part of the segue, right? So here we go. We're jumping into news. I did not pick up any news items, by the way. I am woefully unprepared for news. So
Boy, Jeff, if you think you're unprepared,
You know
I don't know what
crazy
me and Ocean are
is
doing.
you've tried to segue us. It's not even your fucking item, man.
Yeah,
I got us into news, all right? What y'all do with it is up
Did
to
someone
you.
just change the color of the sheet?
yeah, that was
For
me.
HBO.
Yeah.
Bro,
I'm in the middle of forming things, but yeah, it is my news item coming up first, and we are slightly behind the times here with this one because we had a break last week. We have some news items that are like slightly out of sync here, but we have two big announcements coming out of the ANZ Australia region that we have rosters now for Mindfreak and for Direwolves, which is great. Love to see Mindfreak back, love to see Direwolves back, but since that news breaking and now. Contenders A-Side's winter for Australia has finished with a Mindfreak win and a Direwolves second place. So, like, we're playing catch-up here with the news.
We're introducing your champions. That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
But I want to note something really important from Contenders A-Size, Australia. I've lost it. Find it. Right. So, I like to talk about the Pacific region.
Yes.
USG finished third.
That's pretty good going for USG, yeah.
Yeah. I believe they're all Japanese roster. All Japanese roster.
Is that USG Donut?
Technically.
Yeah.
Unsold
Stuff gaming. Yeah.
Yeah. And they also they brought Mindfreak to 5 in the upper bracket semifinals.
Yeah.
Good job. We like to see the Pacific teams doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Japan is historically not a region we have seen much talent come out of.
With
like,
Toyou.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's it. Is Toyou, and Toyou is the exception rather than the rule here, right? He's the only player that's made it as far as Overwatch League.
I mean,
there aren't many now that we don't have a specific APAC region that we even see in Australia or Korea.
This is like super weird for me because obviously I have a roster in the Pacific region, right? I really don't see why we don't have one because like Zeta Division and Valorant was extremely really successful and probably brought a lot of viewers and a lot of money to Valorant. Japan is typically very, very good at supporting their local teams. Yeah. I mean, Paper X was another very followed team in Valorant, one of the best teams from Singapore. So, like, look, in my eyes, I don't know why we're not seeing more support towards us, particularly like countries like Japan. I know the Pacific region as a whole would be nice, but Japan could be one in the future as well.
Yeah, I think it's the result of slightly short-sighted. Sorry, Jeff, you put yourself on screen, and I just went, "No, it's out of the way. It's Phil's time to talk."
It's fine. It's fine.
I think it's short-sighted business planning from Blizzard and people at Blizzard in that they went, "Oh well, we're getting a lot of players from Europe, NA, Korea, some from Australia, so we'll keep Australia. But these other regions where we haven't got any players coming into Overwatch League, we'll just dump them. So I've got no South Africa.
I think that
We've
makes
got
sense
no
on
APAC.
paper, though, right? On paper, it's like, okay, we don't have that many players in this region. Oh, but they actually have a really good following, or there's less people in this region as a whole, right? So there's less people in Japan relative to China, for example, right? But if you see the viewership that, I mean, actually that's a pretty bad example because Chinese teams get a lot of viewership.
Yeah, they do.
But teams in Japan now supporting Japanese teams, they're gonna put everything into it. So I think it's a bit like, okay, you're probably gonna get a good amount of the population of Japan watching and supporting, right? So
I mean, I think it's oh, that's a bad prod moment. He finished. I thought he had more to say. Ocean usually goes on for a little bit longer. But
no one's judging here, Jeff,
That's
because
what
you're
my
right.
wife said.
Ocean does go on.
but
sorry, that was an appropriate joke.
I think the Oceanic region in general like supporting their teams. I think that's just as true of, I mean, the Taiwanese teams and Thai teams, and just as it is of Japan.
I'm just saying Japan because it's the team I can see in front of me.
No. I think it's valid, especially since they did so well. And I mean, this was the point I was going to make a second ago, is a point I made in episode 18, that I still think we should just combine the Oceanic and ANZ regions. And
have more teams?
And have a few more teams involved and showcase a little bit more talent. I mean, if we're not going to have an Oceanic region in and of itself, those players to showcase what they got, for those regions to showcase what they got. Nope. Did I lose audio? Oh, my headset died. Oh, son of a bitch. Yep. Yeah, no, nobody can hear you, unfortunately. Oh, my goodness. Professional podcast, by the way. We are pure pros here, as I plug my headset in so that we can all hear you again. There we go. We're back. Oh, well, we're almost back. Now I gotta go make a settings change inside OBS so that stream can hear y'all. I can hear you, but...
Can they see me dancing? They actually fucking could as well.
Oh, yeah, that's... My headset just died. That's all that was.
Oh, it was a headset issue?
Yeah. I had it on wireless, and it didn't have the battery to get
Oh, right. Well, stream just got me dancing for a fuck ton then.
Yeah, pretty much.
It wasn't very good dancing, to be honest. No.
Let's keep moving forward. We're just going to gloss over that prod mistake. That's okay. We do have a little bit of a rebrand coming out of NAT2. This one coming out of DICE. So they were playing as the Milkmen during Series Side A. And now have rebrand to Nyx. So if you see Nyx around, like they're not just coming out of left field. This is just another DICE rebrand. I don't really have much more to add past that.
No, there's not much to add. And like the situation there with the team playing as Milkmen whilst DICE were DICE, but like getting ready for a rebrand is a little weird, but stranger things have happened in Tier 2, I guess.
Yeah. It's just something to keep an eye on. If you see this team, that's what it is. It's DICE.
Yeah.
That's the extent of what I got on that one. What do we got next? As we continue to move through.
Oh, is it me? Oh,
yeah, we're speedrunning this one, Ocean.
Oh, speedrunning? Oh, that's not good. Well, I mean, Talon were on their way to potentially speedrun a team fight victory, then disaster struck.
Then this happened. Nope.
I mean, personally, like, this should never really happen on, like, in any competitive game, but it hurts even more for me considering it happened to one of Incendia's former players for Top Dragon. I remember watching it. I was like, fuck, not Top Dragon, no! Despite the fact that he ruined our last week. But it's whatever. It's unfortunate, and hopefully we don't see any of these type of bugs again. I know there are a couple of other bugs on the current Contenders patch that we've seen. There was a double commanding shout bug.
Obviously, the Pharah bug.
The Pharah damage thing.
The Pharah bug.
Yeah, where she's like 9%.
I don't know if the Genji Dragon Blade bug was still there, where you can like get Infinite Blade. I don't know if that's still a thing.
Oh, I didn't even hear about that one.
Oh, bro. I don't know if that was on the patch. I don't know if that was on the patch.
No, I think that was I think that was the previous patch, like where your Wrecking Ball would move super fast while in shooting form, but like the visual wouldn't go back to ball form, and he would just run around super fast with his spider legs. I think that was part of that same patch with the Genji bug.
Yeah, so I mean, personally, I think we need to be a lot more careful with what's on the patch we're playing in the future. Like, I think this is acceptable on the circumstance that game isn't out yet, right?
Yeah.
But this can't happen later on, I don't think.
No.
Well, this is also, I think. I mean, Matt Merck's saying, esports ready game. Like, that's just.
Yeah, it is what it is with like the way Overwatch League and the release of the game and Contenders is all lined up. Playing on the beta was like the only option other than playing on Overwatch 1 or just not having Contenders. And it's a beta. There are going to be beta things in it. What can you do?
Yeah, Neb is saying that actually happened yesterday in scrims.
Oh, really?
Looking at chat right now. This is the Infinite Blade, not the going through the floor.
Hi, Neb.
Oh, hey, cool. But so it's still around then.
The fix the Infinite Blade apparently, but the animation of the dragon flying around the Genji, yeah, still stays. Yeah, it's an animation bug. You're not actually in Blade.
I just got.
For an infinite
this is not relevant at all, but I just got an email from American Airlines saying they give me 5,000 bonus miles as an apology for cancelling my flight. I would have liked some extra money, but it's appreciated. Thank you, American Airlines.
We are not sponsored by American Airlines.
We should be.
No, we should be, though. American Airlines, you're watching this. We're big fans.
Should I just email them back being like, yo, can you sponsor my 5 podcast?
Rather than the 5,000 points.
Yes, exactly. You just sponsor our podcast. I'm based out of Dallas, for what it's worth.
There we go.
As is AA.
Jeff, you're based everywhere.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. That is just too kind. It's too kind. I don't even...
Well, next
Moving
up. Grinding to a halt for a second there.
And me forgetting to do lower thirds. Oh, man. Oh, man.
This is your topic, by the way.
Is this mine?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I was stalling.
Good job.
Well, I'm going to have to make that sign again from, like, episode 3.
Yes, you probably should. So, wait. Our next topic should be...
I mean, I can take this one. It's up on screen. Why not? Let's just flip this around a little bit. We did get the teams released for the Mayhem Classic, which is going to be...
I skipped one.
Tomorrow, starting at, I believe, 12 p.m. So, if... a GeForce, because I know we're all big fans of GeForce here, but very strong set of teams here. Should be a good day of games. A good day of games, even. Day of games. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm still recovering from the 5-hour Contenders China broadcast last night, so I'm not totally with it.
I don't have a sign to tell Jeff it's his topic, but I do have a Kurumi Tokisaki poster. I think I'm just going to show this instead.
Okay, is that the universal sign that it's my topic now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the universal sign that Ocean needs to go out and touch some grass.
You saw me touch grass.
True.
Actually, going to what was supposed to be my topic because I actually accidentally skipped one. But UGA is holding open tryouts, which is kind of you don't often see from a T2 squad, and I guess T2, T3.
Somewhere around that.
Yeah, there's somewhere around there. Those trials do start on the 10th, so that's 5 days from now. It's Tuesday. So
I like their hashtag.
Yep, that's certainly
a
thing.
Hashtag. That's definitely a hashtag. If you look at their Twitter, you've got invites to their Discord. You can go find out all the information there. Set up your trials. Go play in some contenders.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
You have been commanded. Go and try out for Ugandan Air Force.
Oh, that's where my Direwolves tweet went. That was supposed to go early on. Oh well,
it was in there somewhere.
It was in there somewhere.
This is the next one, right?
Moving right along. Yeah.
This is you.
Hey, ayo. I guessed, considering it's KOs. This is interesting. So, Sin Prisa Gaming, which I'm trying to remember who they played in round 3 qualifying for Korean Contenders. They I thought they were going to cause some upsets and get in to the top 8 of KR Contenders. They have players like Sanguinar on their roster. Yeah. They did have Roxanne. But no, they don't need Roxanne anymore because they signed Toyou. So I think this is a good signing. I think slowly but surely, this roster is going to gain 1 or 2 players and then be a really good roster in KR. So I'm happy with this sign. I think it's cool. I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah, and Sin Prisa took a handful of the Gen G players. Is that right? When Gen G
that's what they originally started out with. And that's why they had Roxanne. I was a big fan of Roxanne.
Yeah.
But obviously not there. I think this roster will slowly be very, very good. I'm going to go check who they played. Okay, they lost to TDI.
I was just pulling it up. I was just pulling it up.
I thought maybe they could chance their armor get in. But maybe this came too soon for them. They were still adjusting. They're still relatively fresh.
Yeah, very new roster, very new organization.
Right, good to see Toyou back.
Yeah, absolutely. As a Seoul Dynasty fan, I was kind of hoping that we might see Toyou come back to pick up the off-tank roles required for Overwatch 2.
I have a thing on Toyou. So I actually have... There's one channel, there is one video on my YouTube channel, right here, and it's a both of you of Gen G versus... I can't remember what team it was. And Toyou popped off in that game on Sigma, so yeah, there you go.
Yeah, very good Sigma player.
Very nice, very nice. Coming up next is one of mine again. And
correct.
Where is it? Oh, it's on this one. Well-oiled machine. We have some Natter news.
There we go. That's what
I love it when I get to use that graphic. Sorry, I just love when I get to use that. Natter actually working over at Riot.
Yeah.
So it had been a little quiet over the past month, and now we have learned why. The Overwatch coach has been working at Riot Games as a security engineer. So claps all around. Congratulations to Natter. That's a good gig. Happy to see Natter thriving. So
yeah, absolutely. I do wonder how that's going to interact with his role as advisor for Atlanta Reign.
It's more a content creator, but he gets asked.
Things
is what it was originally, but I think it's more a content creator role anyway. So be interested to see how it affects it anyway.
Yeah. But he's a smart guy. I'm sure he will flourish in that role. And as always, we already wish the best for Natter.
Absolutely. What do we got next?
Up next is you can call this the prelude to some tier 2 drama that we had in the previous week. The first one being this, I guess at this point you can call it kind of a teensy snafu. It was a little bit funny. Where we have teams playing across regions and there is a server decision, server first choice is given over to the winner of a coin toss. And for whatever reason, best known to the admin in charge of this, they decided to use the Irish Euro and then declared the outcome of this, saying, oh, we got tails or we got heads, therefore this is what's happening. And then on further research, discovered actually that what they thought was a heads is actually the tails of the Irish Euro. And so after the decision had been made, they reversed the decision because they'd misinterpreted the coin flip, which... it just seems unnecessary. It's already been the product of random chance here. Which is just it's kind of funny. Particularly when this was shaping up to be the big drama of the tournament, and then what happened. It's kind of funny that we were looking at that going, oh, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, we thought this was drama. Ooh.
I just don't know how you couldn't why you picked that coin if you couldn't tell.
I don't know.
I like how David goes on to say that he used a Canadian loonie as well.
Oh.
Which is their $1 coin. There's I can't make this shit up. Canadian money, there's the loonie and the toonie. That is a real thing.
Like a TV show.
It's because it's the loon is on the back of the $1 coin, and the $2 coin is worth 2 loonies, so it's the 2.
Yeah, it's the toonie. Yeah.
Oh, Canada, become a real country already. Come on.
Oh, Canada.
Aren't you currently residing in the US?
Me, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
still
think
make fun of Canadian money.
I don't think I've handled a US dollar. I do everything on card. So I couldn't comment.
I handled many US dollars over the weekend.
The way that was phrased is But on the subject of that, Ethan.
Oh, sorry. Why am I such a weirdo?
That's good stuff.
One of those questions we've been asking for a while.
Last weekend.
There was.
Never know. So wait. So what did you do last weekend?
Oh, I was
Why
in
were you
Chicago.
handling so many dollars?
So okay. So should we? Can I give a play-by-play on my trip? to
Yeah,
Chicago
absolutely.
Before we actually talk about the last. So I essentially, so I was flying from Dublin. So I went down to Dublin the night before. Stayed in a Hilton, had a lovely brekkie. I didn't actually a lovely little breakfast. It was really nice. I did really nice croissants.
This is a more in-depth play-by-play than I remember giving permission for.
Well, you
the train's
say
out of
yes.
station now.
And then I had a 7-hour flight. It was a lovely flight. I actually had a very nice person besides me. It was very, very nice. They were very cool.
That always makes a big difference.
Then I landed in Charlotte. No, I know what you're gonna say. Don't make the joke, Phil. Don't do it again for the third time. And in Charlotte, North Carolina, to get my connecting flight to Chicago, and it got cancelled. As we know or aware on the podcast, it got cancelled, and it was hell. That airport sucks.
Yeah.
That airport is genuinely the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, we had 3 gate changes after the cancellation because I managed to throw a temper tantrum to get the flight the same day. And there was literally we had to go from C to D to A. It was like a fucking Mario Kart race to actually get on the plane. I didn't like Charlotte. She's kind of stank a bit. It was a bit of a mess.
That's the moral of the story.
Then I flew to Chicago. Chicago was good.
Okay. Why don't you tell the people what you were actually doing in Chicago?
Oh, so we were at the Will English IVitational 4 for Overwatch in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it was a cool Overwatch event. Now, there's loads of stories from the LAN, and I'm trying to think about how to put them in. Phil, take over for a bit, because you were also at the same event.
Yeah, so that's the second of the Map 5 podcast Gems in my Infinity Gauntlet, now that I've met both Jeff and Ocean. Only been put in that Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, I was also there. I flew in for what I think totaled 26 hours in Chicago. Getting in on the Saturday, walking around all day, casting precisely 1 game, and then flying back.
Okay. In fairness, the reason that he only casted 1 game was kind of fair enough. So,
I don't blame anybody. It was just funny.
Funny that someone's Airbnb had a gas leak?
No, funny that I flew all that way for 1 game.
Oh, okay. So essentially, okay, actually, I'm ready to go back to my commentary today. So Thursday, I got in at 2 a.m. It was not fun. Friday, I head over to the arena, say hello to some people, get set up, take a little walk around the venue, meet some people. I barely talked to anyone on the Friday. I feel like I was really antisocial on the Friday. Really bad. Not good behaviour from me. And then I went to IHOP. Actually, that's not a lie. We went to IHOP with a 12, 13 gamer squad to IHOP. The problem was you couldn't split the bill.
Oh, you still have the best stories.
They couldn't split the bill. So we had to have someone pay the entire bill of 12 people at IHOP. Not good.
See, this is where having cash is actually a good thing. I'm just saying. Cash.
You couldn't split the bill with cash either, dude.
Yeah, you just give the person $20.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did that because I was well prepared. Then Saturday came around. That was the first day of the event. And that's where I met Big Hungry Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. I actually didn't recognise him for a while.
How?
I was wearing a mask.
He was wearing a mask, in fairness, right? And then we filmed some Map 5 stuff, which I'll go on the podcast later.
That on my hard drive somewhere waiting.
Yeah. Tease.
Well, we did a lot of stuff. It was really, really cool. We filmed some really cool interviews. The actual event was really, really good. We did some casting. Me and Phil casted together. It was a really cool picture.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
I'm trying to figure out what else happened on the Saturday.
I know you met quite a few people.
Just so
many people.
Yeah.
But I feel like Sunday's a better discussion for what it's meeting people.
Who were some of your favorites that you met?
Who are some of my favorites? Gunther. Everyone loves Gunther. Bro,
Gunther's such a nice dude.
Oh my god. Bro, the problem was when I had to hug Gunther, I had to hug him, I had to jump because he's so tall. I did the little action.
We were talking about this before we live. I had no idea Gunther was that tall. I'm fast with the guy, you know?
He's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, I can't remember if he's taller or I'm taller. If he's taller, it's not by much. If I'm taller, it's not by much.
Sure. God, I think if we got the two of you with Billy, it would just be overload.
Yeah, okay.
I'd feel like
Gunther was brilliant.
Akash
All
was
the
cool.
Shiki gamers were really cool.
Akash.
Yeah, Shiki
Digo,
gamers.
Mercury, Panda was like one of my best friends, and Autumn were cool people as well. FK Noob, chill.
Yeah.
Infected, chill. I really enjoyed hanging out with Infected for like a small bit, but that goes to Sunday in a bit. So Saturday night, right?
Aqua was the cool guy to get to know a little bit
yeah,
more.
we had like
I
a
would
really
love to
long
have met
conversation with
Aqua face to face.
Yeah, Aqua on day one. Undertanker from Shiki, social media person. Lots of cool people. And Will, obviously. And
Of
Rich.
course, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Richrad's
Rich
so
Rad
nice.
is legitimately the nicest
He's
guy in
so
esports.
cool.
It's his
He got his
I'm trying to
cookies.
tell y'all.
He got his cookies. He gave me a hug. Oh my god, I like Rich.
Okay, here's I've already put this on Twitter, right? But when you want to discuss who the nicest person in esports is, remember this, that when I met Rich and I told him like how my travel was been, and I told him that my taxi from the airport to the venue was $70, he went, okay, cool, I'm going to pick you up tomorrow morning and take you back to the airport because I don't want you spending another $70.
Well.
Yeah,
so,
such a nice guy. Didn't
and he
have
got
to.
his cookies.
Yeah,
I had a
fuck
similar
with any of
story.
those.
He gave me a ride back to my hotel when, like, because he came to the Lakeside Showdown, which that's I would cast that was like last October or yeah, something like that. And similar thing, like he gave me a ride and like sat and chat with me. Like I was going through some IRL shit, and he was just like talking with me about it, and immediately like gave me a big hug when I first ran into him. Like first thing he did was just give me a big hug, you know, like right out of the gate. I was like, oh.
Yeah, and we got to like hang out with him just whilst we were waiting for the game. So I all just sat around the table. Me, Ethan, Rich, K-Wing Cast, just chatting and shooting the shit. And like every time he saw somebody that he knew, he was like throw down whatever he was currently writing on or working again, scream their name and go and hug them.
Yep.
Yeah.
So hold that thought for 1 second. Yep. Just hold on to it. There's a reason I always go wireless. For whatever reason, my headset does not like being wired, and the audio went funky there for a second. But we should be good now. Anyway, should continue. Wait, no? Oh. I've actually been in contact with Corsair over this. Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not a cord issue. It's like the computer just decides to not read my headset issue. It's very strange, very difficult to fix. All right, mic check.
Oh.
All right, we're good.
Sorry, Jeff. There we go.
Nope,
my fault.
You were back for like a second.
Right, can I go ahead now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Right,
okay,
so
okay.
Saturday, me and Phil did our one game cast. We went to the second game, and then I walk around for a bit. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I get poked in the sword, and they're going, so Airbnb has a glass leak. I'm like, excuse me? What do you mean? They're like, yes. I'm like, okay, I'll go explain, and then you can leave, right? So then I go for food with some of the other players. We go to the like a bar nearby, and our waiter knows Dante.
Oh yeah,
That's
our
just
waiter
most
knew
random
Dante.
shit.
Like, yeah, he was like,
Yep, shit's gonna take a second to reset.
Well.
All right, we're back.
We're back. Okay,
back.
so where do I get to?
Same spot.
So waiter knew Dante, right? So waiter knew Dante. And we're like messaging to try and figure out what's going on with that gas leak. Then they said there was a robbery across the street. Then they broke down on the way to get to us, this team. And then eventually we got them in. We had to sneak them into our hotel to room with them to make sure they were all safe. So, yeah, that was an eventful Saturday night, to be honest. I ended up rooming with Like, who is really chill. Used to play for Regen, etc. So, like, yeah, pretty good player. And then Sunday happened. Me and Phil went for a hot wine and some strawberry soup.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what?
American cuisine is the finest, everybody.
Did you say strawberry soup?
Yeah.
I don't even want to know.
It was pancakes, strawberry and cream pancakes, but lots of strawberry juice.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Just way too much strawberry syrup.
Way too much, dude. Like, it literally looked like soup. I had it on. That was very nice. It was good to hang out with Phil before he left. Then went back to the event. Did some cool stuff. Did some networking. Actually, no, I got to the event early. So I was on a call with Sid because she was doing the first round of games from remote. I was on a call with Sid. I look across the street at like 11 o'clock, and that's infected, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He's like an hour early. So I run across the street, do a little jog. I'm like, yes. hello, infected, you are too early. Do you want me to get you in? So I got infected and a couple others. Like, everyone showed up too early. You bloody knobs, right? So I had to go to the arena staff and be like, I'm so sorry. Can I let everybody and their sisters in? Thank you. Understood. Right, and then event goes swimmingly. Everyone went to K barbecue, but didn't take into account that I was casting while they were doing K barbecue. Oh, fucking rude. And then I did the grand finals and the losers finals broadcast with Rich. We did a cool dance during the broadcast. We stood up. It was great fun, great pictures. Then so there was like a little small gathering party thing, and it was fun. It was really, really fun. Oh, nobody told me there was a pool, so I didn't bring like a spare change of clothes. I just so I got there, and they're like, "Can we push you in?" Well, AFK Noob says, "Can I push you in?" And I'm like, "Excuse me." Oh, I've fine.
You fucking heard me.
And Mercury walks around, "Can I do it?" I'm like, "Fuck it, fine, you can do it." And AFK Noob recorded it, so yeah, I got pushed into the pool. It's a really cool video. It was a really good fun night. I was actually really struggling that night, to be honest, because look, during this event I had a lot of insecurities about NA in particular, because obviously a lot of my work has been done in Korea.
Yeah.
So my perception of NA is all of them hated me. Because again, I have a pretty harsh casting style. It's pretty critical and pretty analytical, and I've worked in Korea, so I have got like a more, I guess, professional mindset on things, and I expect NA to be the same, even though it's not, and it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really, really under the perception that all of the NA gamers were going to hate me, but I ended up going to a really cool, I guess, party type thing with some really chill people. I ended up making some really good friends, and I ended up avoiding COVID.
Hey!
So that was good.
All wins. All dubs.
Same.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Yeah, but I feel like this event, like actually, like mental health wise, was good for me in that sort of sense.
Sure.
Because I really had this perception that everyone in North America hates me, and I
It's not
assume
everyone.
that's not the case anymore.
It's definitely not
Good.
everyone.
Good. Oh, well, it's I don't even know where to go from there. Like that was,
And that was what Ocean
was-
did on his holidays.
yeah, it was a good story. I'm glad you got to come out. Like I wish I could have been there, but I'm glad you got to come out
it
to the
would've
NA.
been
And
Oh, there's
do
gonna be
LAN
another one
and-
October, November. They better invite me back. I was cool, right? Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
You hear that, Will?
Threaten them. Will. Invite. Ow! What did I just do? I just got like a shock off my shirt.
That's what you get for. Will is already fighting back.
Well, let me into the next land, please. Thank you. I still have my ASTA for a bit longer. Please. Please.
All right,
There we go.
there we go.
Right, one last news item, and then we can talk about the real thing we're here to talk about.
Oh, shit. I took up a lot of time.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. It's fine.
Sorry,
It's a
gamers.
podcast. Fortunately, we're a long format show here, so it's fine.
Where's my?
Yeah.
Where's my?
So I
there we
felt,
go,
did you
it's better.
only just like that tweet?
Yeah.
What? No. Here, I'm gonna
No, that was
refresh your
posted like
camera,
fucking
so-
a day and a half ago.
I've been very busy in the past day and a half.
Yeah,
I'll have
did
you know.
Contenders China last night. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did Contenders China last night. Thank you,
Yeah, that's fair enough. You
Yeah,
have an
that was
excuse.
a marathon. That was an absolute marathon.
Mac. Hang on, my dog is about to pull everything off. Mac,
Uh-oh.
come here. Yeah,
Here,
dogs and cables.
I'll go ahead and jump into our final news item. And yeah, I've struggled with similar issues with my dog wanting to get under my desk and pull things around. We are not going to have a third round of beta. As I do our lower third. Speaking of. But this has some implications for contenders.
I forgot something.
Okay.
It's too late.
Can it
We
wait?
moved on.
Can it wait? I've already moved on.
Yeah,
think about it
sorry.
for the
Can I
end of
do
the
it at
show.
the end of the podcast?
Yeah,
Thank you.
we'll do it at the end of the show. But John Spector did come out yesterday and publicly state, hey, there will not be a third public beta prior to the launch on October 4th. Here, let me get a little more zoomed in versions because it's easier to read. There we go. And, okay, so what does this mean for contenders? Now, this means that teams and players can't play on the new game outside of any scrim environment. So it's really difficult for players to work on their individual mechanics and to try to work on heroes and get any extra playtime in. All they've got is official scrims, and anybody who's who's not in Contenders, we know that there's going to be some
They're
roster
just gonna
shifts.
fall behind.
Yeah, everybody's just going to fall behind. And we know there's going to be some roster shifts. There have already been rumors of a few. And it's going to be very difficult for players who aren't currently in a Summer Series team to get any practice in to try to find their mark and find their place with these roster shifts and try to get themselves in with these Tier 2 teams. So it's definitely a little bit of a blow. It's definitely disappointing to like the entire community. Everybody, I think, wanted that third beta. I know everybody's particularly excited to get their hands on the Fox Girl support and play on some of the new patches. We know the Moira patch, the Moira weakened orb is being removed. So like, what's all that going to even look like? Will that be in place for B-sides? We don't know. We have heard word that will be in place for Owl. For whatever, it's not Summer Series. What's the Owl version? Summer something.
Mid-season
Summer Showdown.
Mid-season
Summer
Madness.
Showdown.
No, Mid-season Madness was.
Yeah,
we've just had mid-season Summer Showdown. Yeah,
it's Summer Showdown. So we do know like the more weakened orb or enfeeblement orb will not be in Summer Showdown, and we believe there's some nerfs coming to Junker Queen as well because we've been in this hard Junker Queen meta for Summer Series. Anyway, we're not going to really get our hands on any of that as a public until October 4th. So.
Yeah,
there you go.
Which is unfortunate, but there was like a little bit of hope that we might get a third beta. There was a leak from an interview with a French content creator, which just reinforces don't trust the French. But yeah, I think like looking at the timescales, looking at the timescales involved, a third beta was going to be difficult. So hopefully, it just means that we get a better final product on October 4th in just under 2 months.
Yeah, I mean, that's still 2 months from yesterday, and each beta run was 3 weeks. Like, you think... Yeah. I personally think that they should have tried to fit one more round in there, but I understand the reasoning behind it. Like you say, hopefully we'll get a more polished final product, and they can focus on the October 4th release and not having an in-between beta playable and functional for everybody, so... I get it. I'm very disappointed personally, but but
it'll be good.
It's not really about me.
It is what it is.
I think the effect that it has on the Contenders players is the most important aspect.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, and for Overwatch League players as well, because it limits how much they can play, who they can play with, what they can scrim, when they can scrim.
Well, and another side of that I've seen is that if you're benched, like you don't get to play in scrims because you're not on the starting roster. They don't tend to, and this is something I don't really know. Like, I'm not very good with knowing how the insides work of a team and stuff. But if you're not a starter, you don't get scrim time, which means you're not improving. You're not gonna get to play Overwatch 2 whatsoever. So you're not gonna ever get off the bench because you don't have a chance to improve with the heroes necessary or to widen your hero pool or whatever the case may be. So particularly tough on some of these benched players.
Yeah, it's rough.
Rough. Can I come back to the thing I forgot?
What's that?
Can I come back to the thing I forgot? It's really interesting. I swear.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
So I've never had seafood before. We barely have any seafood places in North Island, right? So I went to seafood with MI Blizzard, one of the best producers we have in Overwatch, and his mother. His mother was lovely, and then my Blizzard was lovely, and the food was lovely. It was great. I really enjoyed our meal. And that's it.
I'm glad we've got a chance to come back to this.
I've never had seafood before. I never had seafood before.
At all? You've never eaten any kind of fish or anything?
Well, no, I have. I have. It is to accept, but I've never been to a seafood place. If that counts, if you know what I mean.
Okay, fair. Sushi is one of my favorite foods on the planet.
Wow.
I don't know if that counts, but there you go. I know you were all concerned.
It was.
We were.
I'm glad.
I was losing sleep over it.
I'm glad I could put that to rest. My conscience feels lighter now. So
good. I'm glad to hear it.
Right.
We should try and get on with a run of show.
Oh yeah, we're not going
to do Rookie Watch this week because there has been no Overwatch League, so no rookies. So that segment is grayed out on the run of show, and we can move on to the main topic, which is the the hashtag ContendersStrike, which is
It got number 3 trending.
it got
in the
number
UK, by
3
the way.
trending, which great. We love that everyone is so vocal and supportive of the second tier of Overwatch. I'm hoping that continues through to watching the streams as well.
One can hope. Did notice like viewership was way down on that final day, like by a couple thousand.
Yeah, but should we talk about like the good that came out of this first before we get into the negative?
If for some reason you've been living under a rock and you weren't keeping up with this, this is a problem that came up in the upper bracket finals between Munich Esports and O1 Esports. I almost said Falcons. I was like, no, O1 Esports. In that they were under the impression, an impression which had been cemented by multiple rounds of confirmation with admins, that this was a best of 7 or first of 4. And so we were on the verge of a 0-1 reverse sweep of Munich Esports when admin stepped in and went, oh no, actually, that Munich have already won. It was meant to be first to 3. And so they go off to the lower bracket. And that's when things got spicy.
Yeah, to say the least. That's when everybody took to Twitter. ContendersStrike was just the entire chat, ContendersStrike throughout the entire chat in the game. The broadcast tried to press on, and it was XO versus O1 at that point because O1 had been ruled the victors at 3-0. They tried to press on, and O1 and XO, exactly, refused to play essentially. We have some. There's some fun footage of that.
It was but it was a very clever strike though from O1
yes.
and O1 and XO. And the reason it was very clever is because when they got into the next game, they brought something that's going to bring attention to their issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think there's the tournament answer 1v1. While like people will say like it looks silly, I mean people see here Tour Barista 1v1, they want to go and watch, right? Yeah. They want to go and see what happened. And that probably brought a lot of extra eyes to this issue, this problem. So I thought it was a very clever way to do it.
Yeah.
And I also got to commend everyone who actually, pushed forward in some sort of unionism here.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really good. Now, as much of us, a lot of us, want to work Path to Pro in the future or are currently working Path to Pro, I think a lot of us can accept that there was big problems here. And there's been big problems for incidents in North America last year, Europe this year, and even Korea this year. That is not public information. I'm sure it will be made at some point. I'm not ready to make that public information just yet.
I think the thing that makes this interesting is I have word from other people more involved in the admin and production side than myself, because hey, I'm not involved in that particular broadcast at all, to say that the reason things got to where they got to, and the fact that it went past the 3-0 that would have automatically put Munich up into the next round and 0-1 down into the lower bracket, is that the admin who was in charge of monitoring these things was absent for the first part of that particular match. And so if he had been there and was doing his job, this wouldn't have happened, because it was only after we got to the middle of the 5th map where it was like, oh, yeah, map 6, sorry, not map 5. That's this podcast, different thing entirely.
Different.
That was like, oh no, cut it there, it's done, it's over.
I do think at that point, the mistake's been made, just keep going.
Yeah, and so the reason it got as bad as it did is that, and I should clarify, I don't have the cold hard facts on this. This is what I have heard. I am more than open to being told that I have misinterpreted this or I've been told the wrong thing. So as I understand things, the result from this is then that the admin, rather than admitting fault, doubled down, dug in, and refused to budge at all, refused to acknowledge there had been a mistake made. And, well, from there, it just got worse and worse. And that's why ContendersStrike was trending. And it's why we saw the coming together of the community into
it was a good
action,
coming together.
As much as it was an awful situation in terms of the stress on the teams and competitive integrity, as somebody who is very keen to see this kind of collective organization and bargaining in esports, in Overwatch, that was super cool to see.
like number 3 on trending is some effort.
Yes, it is.
It was number 7 in US as well.
Yeah.
And
Number
I mean,
7 in US, number 3 in UK. That is extremely impressive. It was a really good effort.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that egregious. And I mean, so we're looking at a tweet from Harsha on the screen right now, which a lot of the ones I'm showing don't have, like Helves does, but like Harsha didn't put the hashtag in. Like there were some prevalent tweets that didn't even contain it, and it was still that high in trending. But a lot of notable people from the scene, from outside of EU contenders, coming in to speak
Even
up
just
and stand up
people.
for the behalf of these teams.
Yeah.
And on
Jake Cookie.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah, no, it made esports news. Like people who knew nothing about Overwatch commenting on this.
Yeah.
And Liz did a really good report on it.
Yeah. I mean, for better or for worse, like that's pretty bad press for Overwatch Path to Pro, unfortunately. I mean, it kind of does to the scene what Phil's camera is doing right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that one.
So I actually have a small side point. Now, I thought that I really, really think with a lot of these issues that they've got to start opening up third party a lot more. I do think we kind of need this Path to Pro here, but I think some of the best events have been like last Ride, the Will English IVitational for LAN. I think those events have carried Overwatch over the past while.
Even the Twitch Rivals Pride event.
Pride event was an idea. I mean, some people weren't exactly happy with how that was operated, but even the amount of money that got put into that was really, really good.
Yeah. Very impressive.
I think that a lot. We have to have a look at the power of third party events to just make more of them. To be honest, because we've had a lot of brilliant ones in the past year, especially when we had the break. Jang ran a tournament.
Yeah.
There were so many good ones. We were seeing BPL do some more casual stuff that's been missing for a while.
Florida Mayhem stepping up and continuing.
Florida Mayhem Classic series again.
Yeah.
I think third party tournaments have a lot to go here. I don't think we need to rely on Path to Pro as much as we have been.
I'd love to see Path to Pro become the golden road to proving that you have what it takes, and not just be everything there is. Let's have a more. I would love to see a more open system where winning tournaments of a certain and this is how it works in other esports, right? Is you have a bunch of events throughout the year, you generate points from those other events, you generate interest in your team, you better yourself, you improve yourself as a team, and then from there you go into like an official tournament that says, sponsored by the people who produce the game, that says these are the best players in the world. Obviously we have the Overwatch League in place, and so we can have these are the best players in the world who are not currently in the Overwatch League. And whilst it's a less punchy title, I do think that'd be a nice model to go to.
I just think even having the Path to Pro, maybe like a summer, like maybe 3 Path to Pro series a year with A and B sides sort of thing. So 6 tournaments plus third party for the rest of the year is good enough.
Yeah.
I think that Blizzard needs to give more space for third party events. And that's my personal opinion. I know that's a lot less prize pools, but you're getting more quality events, and I think that's evident as what we've seen.
Why can't we just fix Path to Pro?
Why can't we do that? It's not going to happen.
I mean, there's
only hate to burst your bubble, but it's just not.
We have to continue pushing forward though to try to improve what we've got.
I'm well aware, but we don't have a Pacific region, right? Which is a key area. We don't have an SA region, which is a key area in esports. Two of the most key area in esports. So we don't have those. So we're already missing maybe double the viewership that we could have. And you think that's an exaggeration? It's not.
Well, again, I mean, we've heard my answer on at least the Oceanic region. Of this podcast.
No, and it's a fair answer.
I think there's solutions, and I think it's worth putting the time in. What the admins did here was deplorable. Like this was there was clear questions asked. Well. We had clear questions asked of, this is a 1st to 4 series. Admins said, yes, this was the day before. This wasn't 5 minutes before. This wasn't the head admin not paying close enough attention to a finals game. Although that is applicable too. That did happen as well. But this was 24 hours prior. And the information they provided was wrong. And not only that, it was listed wrong on game battles. It was listed wrong on another set of rules, from what I understand, that got sent out. The only place it was written was the first of 3 was the original document. From what I don't even know how teams got their hands on that or when that was sent out. But
this happened last year. This happened last year as well in NA. And if I'm being really honest, this European situation is far from what I saw in Korea.
And, well, I mean, there's, okay, going back to these tweets, I do want to point out some of what we're seeing here in these tweets, because this is, they're looking to, man, this feels to me like you're trying to punish the teams, because they fucked up. I mean, they're coming in with, pretty threatening wording that, any DQ, if you don't, they're saying, this is, okay. Let me back up a thought here. I'm sorry, I've got a couple of thoughts going on at once right now. So after what we just saw, the clip we saw of the Tor 1v1 and the Orisa 1v1, they put the match on hold between 01 and Ex Oblivione. This is what they were telling the teams. This is a snippet of what the Contenders admins were telling the teams, that you have to try your hardest. You must, it's kind of clipped at the top here, you must verify that you have seen these messages regarding the fact that you have to play to your fullest capabilities. If those requirements are not met, any and all teams will be disqualified. If you are disqualified, you forfeit any prize money and you forfeit your spot in B-sides. They're threatening these teams. Like, that's nothing short of a threat to these players and to these squads who are not academy teams, who are not funded, who are just coming in here and pouring their hearts out trying to make their fucking dreams work. And you're in here threatening these teams because you couldn't communicate properly. And then the teams stand up for themselves. So you got main tank from Exo Helve, who went on to say, we flat refuse to keep playing if you do not fix the competitive integrity, period. And then Exo goes on to make a statement on Twitter that is an official statement from the org saying that they stand alongside 01 and Munich and that this was a complete lack of competitive integrity. It says, we believe this in combination with a general lack of communication has affected the competitive integrity of this tournament. And we hereby refuse to continue our series until those issues have been addressed. Like this
but those aren't the only 2 teams that have been threatened to be kicked out of Contenders for rules that aren't their fault. I can tell you 3 more privately.
I understand that. I'm
so
saying
I think that personally, this is not just a one-time thing. This is happening multiple times, and that's a worry.
And that's where communication needs to improve. And I don't know if there's a solution that fits both or all regions. I'm not exactly sure how the hierarchy works in Blizzard, whether it's one person that is in control of all regions, if there's various head admins that control individual regions,
it's
some
a mix of
communicate more poorly than others. I would assume it is a mix.
They're all bad.
And
it's a mix of both, and they're all bad.
We also have to remember.
I think,
the unfortunate passing of Dan has created a ripple effect through this as well, where it's left this gap.
In the administration. I actually have a very fair point on this. Because Dan was such a good leader. I mean, everyone knows from these stories that Dan is such a good leader. So I think you're looking for someone in multiple areas to step into those shoes. It's almost impossible to feel like you're going to get that. And then people, when they have to be a leader, they have to make decisions, right? They have to get people behind them. And then you're putting yourself under pressure to make decisions. I think that's what happened in a lot of these scenarios. Korea had problems this season. EU had problems this season. So let's just say in a lot of scenarios, I think people were trying to step up and be a leader. And they were trying to make decisions, but they didn't make the correct ones. I think that's because they're feeling a lot of pressure to make those decisions because they're trying to step into the role of someone who, realistically, we're never going to get someone like that again.
No.
Unless we promote it from within the scene.
Yeah, here's the hope is that we do get somebody who is interested and competent enough to get that done. I know some rumblings of some people who were considering it that I would be very pleased to see in that role.
I'd love to do
it. Have you applied?
Don't know how to.
There was a job posting.
Probably already taken that. I would love to do it. Unfortunately,
regardless, the point I wanted to make here is that we need to be a little careful to strike a balance, right? Because Ocean, I think, because of the difficulties you have had with teams this year that we won't get into here, and seeing the side of Path to Pro that you see that maybe people like myself and Jeff don't see, you have a little bit more of a doomer attitude towards this. And I'm not going to tell you that's wrong, but I am going to say that I think there is an idealized, fixed path to pro that we can get to. I think going, it's never going to happen, let's tear it down and just have something else.
That's a bit of a gloom statement, that, mate. But I just don't see it. Or maybe that's a better way to say it. I don't see it happening.
I mean, at this point, we can kind of really only agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fixable. It's a lot of work. And I'm not the guy to highlight exactly what the solutions are. But I think to say no, it's impossible, right? is not the way forward.
Well, I think there was a habit of bad communication and mismanaged expectations, and those two things would be where I would start if I was looking for areas to improve the Path to Pro system. And maybe that's a matter of having their ducks in a row before they get started. Maybe they didn't know how they were going to handle the beta drop after Open Division, and teams were going to get it. Maybe they, the expectations to the teams, which involves clear communication and good communication, I think has been the weakest link of this whole thing and a common thread across the regions. And so I think everybody would agree that's where it needs to start, and that communication needs to be good. And the administrators need to treat the teams with respect, and obviously vice versa. And I don't think the teams were in any way disrespectful. I think the teams handled this beautifully. They were very respectful in the way that they made their statement and put their foot down.
Yeah, agreed. I also think there's a degree of, I don't know, congratulations is the wrong word maybe, but the casters that were on for this were new to the region, in the case of Moxie, and new to Contenders in the case of Dogman, and like no shade at Dogman, relatively new to casting compared to a lot of other people.
It's the second time he'd ever cast.
Yeah, he did some stuff in Overwatch League, and he has been on a couple of things here and there, but the way they handled that I thought was very good. It could easily have become you could have just shut it down and broadcast nothing. You could have struggled, but I thought they handled that admirably.
I agree 100%.
I think they were in a difficult spot. I don't think anyone could have handled it better. I mean, ideally, they see the news on Twitter. They shouldn't be on Twitter while casting, so they shouldn't see it. But ideally, they get a message of the news. They're saying, look, this is the action they're taking. This is how you can support it. If you don't support it, it's whatever. This is what's happening. But unfortunately, I don't think they would have had that information. I think that's impossible. I think they did a really good job.
Along those lines, EXO commented on their own tweet initially and came back to say, for clarifications, these issues have absolutely nothing to do with the production of the broadcast.
Yes.
Which I also thought was
smart.
It was a very high road move.
Yeah.
Like, this is not on prod.
Let me tell you that Monkey Bubble were just as upset, concerned, angry as the rest of us. So not a Monkey Bubble in any way, shape, or form. Like, there is the meme of, casters start game, but they had nothing to do with it. They were just the cameras and the voices.
Yep. As production as casters, we're just trying to tell the story. Like, we work the best with what we've got. There was a resolution to kind of cap on this whole subject. NA was delayed by a little over half an hour while they tried to resolve this. I'm not sure the NA teams would have played, honestly, if it hadn't gotten resolved. And Path to Pro did come out and basically make a statement saying that they would continue the series the next day. It was streamed but not cast. So those final few maps are available to go watch. But it didn't.
Good casting practice, in fairness.
Yeah. You've got Overwatch 2 casting practice. You've got VODs with audio and no casting on it. Like, that's actually pretty rare.
Yeah, prime real estate.
Yeah, that is prime real estate. That's actually a really cool thought. But
I'm trying to get some sort of positive out of this, but
well, and
there are positives. There are definitely positives. Collective action, always good.
And it got the results. It got the desired results. Yep. I mean, it took a little bit. But Path to
my
Pro did
question
eventually.
would be: is this the desired result?
Hold on, let me finish.
ahead.
Path to Pro did actually come out and make a statement saying that the teams received information that the series would play as a first to 4, and then go on to say that they're going to honor that. So after investigating the circumstances, they've determined that maintaining consistency with our most recent communication, managing expectations, people, which stated the match was a first to 4 series, is the fairest course of action. So, and then that's when they decided to resume the match the next day, where Munich had map pick and a 3-2 lead in the series, and it just picked up from there. Not ideal, obviously, because there's momentum involved that 0-1 had a decent amount of, but still, I think the fairest result considering.
I think. Okay.
I was going to say, very, very quick fun fact here, because that was a first to 4, best of 7, whatever, and it went as many maps as it did. It means that across the entire A-sides bracket post-qualifiers, 22% of all maps played on A-sides were between Munich Esports and 0-1 Esports. more than 1 in 5.
Oh my! Between 20 and 25%, between a fifth and a quarter of all maps played were between those two teams. All right, I did not know that.
Okay,
that's a good one. I didn't hear that.
I think we got a good short-term result in that sort of statement, and they resolved it to an extent. I think we need a little bit more, though. I think we need to see some active changes made. We don't need to see those active changes. I think we just need to see them as we progress through Path to Pro, and say, so next series, when if something similar happens, what's the response going to be, right? I think we're gonna have to see if we get a longer term resolution soon enough. I think it was a good short term resolution, but I think we need a little bit more long term.
Okay. Well, I agree with that, and I think that's a good place to leave this. I need to do a quick fix on the headset. I'm going to switch back over to wireless because it's doing a weird audio thing.
Here.
But okay, so it's a 1-minute dance break. There you go. Have at it. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-do. As we get a no audio version of Ocean hurting himself. Awesome. Well done. Going back to wireless, I'm hoping I have enough battery at least get us through the end of this podcast. And I don't know what we're looking at. I don't know what's going on here, friends. All right, give me a mic check. Did I get anything yet? I don't have anything yet. No, here, hold on. My check.
Close street.
There we go.
Hello.
Back.
Yes, indeed. And there's.
I need to stop stroking this poster. People are getting the wrong idea. I'm stroking the side of it because it's really soft. It's not like there's no actual picture being stroked. It's
anyway.
Okay, I'm glad we got clarification on that.
It's that area there where
much appreciated.
It's really soft. I apologize.
Would be remiss if we didn't talk about Summer Series a little bit. I did want to just do a brief touch on some NA stuff here. Odyssey, we're your grand champions. Personally, I would give Tree your MVP, as I'm going to pull up a little bit of footage here from our grand finals between Wisp and Odyssey. Wisp were actually my pick to take this whole thing and win it all. They didn't disappoint.
My pick didn't quite go. I went a bit hipster with mine.
But hey, I mean, they made it to grand finals. But Odyssey, I mean, you can't ever underestimate Luke Mino and Rack Attack. Like, just six support line.
No,
always.
Realistically, I would have went with Odyssey if I wasn't trying to be hipster.
Fair enough.
I went 0-1 in Europe. I went Talon. Or no, I went to Bast in Korea. So I'm doing all right. But I did go UA, and that didn't really go well for me.
I mean, admittingly, Wisp, they had some scrimbucks going on that I had caught window, so that influenced my decision a little bit.
I was going a bit hipster. I do think that UA will be a contender at the end of the year, though. Yeah. I really, really do. I really like the building of their roster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the makings of a very strong team.
Arrow is sick. Like
Arrow. Oh, I told you Arrow was sick.
Arrow was ridiculously
I did tell you Arrow was
sick.
I really like Arrow, Simple, and Aiden in particular. Those three.
Spoiler, got our #1 play of the day for day one, so you can go check that out here on the channel.
We're gonna hopefully be doing those.
Oh yeah, no, I've got the rest of NA is almost done. I'm just gonna release them in a batch. Like I thought about doing day 2, then I'm just gonna release them in a batch. So I've got them all edited together. Just need to do some videos for them. Actually, a really cool series. Really excited about it. It took a little longer than I wanted, but anyway, back to the point here. Tree, absolutely my MVP for all of NA Summer Series Side A. What was just dominant. Absolutely dominant on the Sojourn through the entirety of the series. Was always a threat. Was always fun to watch. So yeah, there's.
We did have a small argument on who we were gonna pick, but I didn't fight Tree. I thought Vulcan, to be honest.
I thought Vulcan did fantastic. I think there's good points for Vulcan. By all means, why don't you make one?
I just think they were really good across multiple heroes. I was really surprised to see Vulcan take up the Junker Queen.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably the best Junker Queen, I would say so, at least. And they played some really good Diva on Dorado, so I thought Vulcan looked really good. So I thought that they were personally mine, but King was also second for me. I couldn't argue with King, really. No, it wasn't King. Tree, sorry.
Tree?
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Bro, another 4-letter name. King's not in Overwatch League, though.
Yeah,
Not on our,
True.
That's not on our list.
King got picked up for Owl.
Stories.
Oh yeah, well, that one slipped through the cracks. We do.
But
Shall
yeah,
we put
King
that
got
up?
picked up for Owl. There you go.
Should we?
There we go. Done.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, King.
Let's see some more little fun facts. As I rarely full screen myself. It feels weird to full screen myself. I don't know why. It's like something like I'm trying to be egotistical or something. I went back and just had a look at our maps that were played just because I thought it was fascinating. Kings Row is unsurprisingly your most played map of NA Summer Series. It was played 10 times over the course of the tournament. Paraiso was your least played map. Only got played once in
not surprising.
NA. Yeah, it did not get played at all in EU. Like across both of those regions, we saw that map once. That was PFA that picked that, playing for Access, picked that in their match against Uprising Academy in the round of 16.
Love to know the thought behind picking such a new map.
Yeah, particularly then. Like that, I mean, day one, like people were still kind of figuring out the meta. We weren't quite in full like Junker Goats yet. Like they were still kind of figuring out. Like you saw Junker Goats on some maps, but like not on. I always want to call it Casino Royale, but that's a Bond movie. But on Circuit Royale.
Circuit Royale, you still don't always see it. You still see the
we did towards the end of the tourney. Mm-hmm. At the beginning of the tourney, we did. At the beginning of the tourney, we were still seeing like the Sigma poke gameplay with the double snipers and that kind of stuff. It was like amalgamation. Like we saw UA like starting to pepper in some Genji on Circuit Royale, but they were still playing the Sigma with it. Like it was like kind of slowly moving over. Towards the end of the tourney, it was just all Junker Queen all the time. Mm-hmm. Control, we saw all 5 control maps. Nepal was actually your most played control map in NA, which I thought was interesting. Yep.
I don't remember watching Nepal.
Nepal was played 8 times over the course of the tournament. Lijiang was only played 5.
I definitely did watch Nepal then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we definitely watched Nepal a few times. Busan and Ilios were your lowest picked control maps at 2 apiece. Other than Paraiso, Eichenwald was your next lowest, also a hybrid. So it was like all Kings.
That low? I'm a big Ike fan.
Yeah, Ike was picked twice over the entire tournament.
What?
Yep.
Bro,
Kings, it was all Kings in Midtown. It was all Kings in Midtown. That's what in it was just like all Kings in Midtown.
Like it's literally a better map than both of them.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just providing numbers here.
I'm just
having
a go at NA. I'm gonna have some fights at next land about people not picking Ike. Fucking hell.
Oh. I mean, that's pretty much all I got. We could probably spend a whole episode doing full, in-depth, like, match breakdowns and stuff. We're not doing that today. Just straight up.
Yeah, no, that's happening next week.
Yeah.
That's next week's topic. Unless something else happens, like drama-wise.
In-depth analytical breakdowns. Guys, I think I have something on next Friday. Now that I think about it,
we're just gonna have a picture of Phil's nose up for next week. Zoomed in.
I wonder if I can recreate the Billy.
The Billy look.
I can't get close enough to my camera from where I'm sat.
Oh man!
I want to know how he got close enough to his camera to get that picture.
It was specifically taken to be a thumbnail for an episode.
Yeah, and then we zoomed in, didn't we?
Yeah, because I have to like make it fit the box that's here because the proportions of the picture are like wide, so I have to zoom it in really close. So it's because that's like the top to bottom. That's the entire length of the picture, but it's really wide. Anyway. Do we want to touch on Korea real quick before we close this out?
No. I think the thing to do here is let's bundle up because we actually still have 2 regions playing.
Finish.
Like China's happening right now. Korea finals
Fair
happen
enough.
this weekend. I think the thing to do is we just bundle those all together into next week's breakdown. So instead, let's move on to the Tier 2 Tweet of the Week. But it does allow us to dive back into Korea ever so briefly, because this Tier 2 Tweet of the Week is going to be going the way of Paddington, who was a guest on the last episode and who runs some socials, some behind the scenes, some moderation stuff, and got this wonderful edit of a classic Pixie and Avril back and forth.
Yeah, which I do actually need. I want to turn on audio for this. Don't usually turn on audio for these, but this is so worthy.
Happen. How about that? I'm on a roll. That correctly
I'm assuming
tonight,
stream can
my
hear this.
number
Yes,
has
I
been
can.
highlighted in green
Okay.
to show that truly I am in the lead. Predictions are like golf. You are meant to get the lowest score. I'm not sure if you people knew that. I, of course, am very familiar with the sport of golf thanks to my upbringing.
Crickets.
I'm pretty good at mini golf.
Which is funny because you're the larger of the...
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
Avril has got shutting Pixie out down to a fine art, and Pixie has got not giving a fuck about that down to a fine art. It's a wonderful dynamic.
It is. Oh, it's so good. Pad props.
You know
That
what?
is
You know,
so
there's
good.
not a good, quite as good, but like a similar dynamic. Phil, you have a similar dynamic to me. I say some dumb shit, and you're like, no.
Yeah, I also need that both ways. I like working with a dry caster who, if I say something stupid, will just go,
no.
Anyway, we're moving on now.
I
Yeah.
tend to, when my co-caster says something like that, I'm like, funny, let's keep talking about it.
Apple pie.
Oh,
It's all about the apple pie.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's a story for a podcast another day. We could do like a questions and answers podcast and talk about that.
Oh, well.
That's
we'll-
a podcast episode idea.
Yeah, we'll do an
Yeah.
AMA at some point. But not today. I think
Maybe
that-
when we're waiting for a flight.
Yeah, maybe.
Exactly. We'll do that sitting in an airport somewhere. We'll just go to an airport specifically to do that episode.
Oh,
We're not actually
all
going to fly.
four of us?
Oh,
Yes.
all four of us at different airports.
At
around
different
the world.
airports. We're not actually flying anywhere. We just go sit at the airport to do AMAs.
You
'cause
can't get free security without a boarding pass. Man.
You don't have to. We'll just go you'll just go sit in the entry area. Go sit at baggage claim. And
I actually probably could do that. Like, my airport's small enough.
oh my goodness. All right. Phil, you want to take us home?
God, yes. Thank you, everybody, for watching. As always, go and give us a follow on our socials, both for Map 5 and individually, because we are fueled by the serotonin hit that seeing those little red things come up on Twitter is. Thanks, as always, to Glitch for letting us use her remix of the King's Row theme in our opening. Much appreciate that. I'm sure she has never watched a single episode of Map 5, but I feel like I need to make the thanks anyway. It's very generous of her. And we'll be back with some Tier 2 nonsense this time next week. Take care. We'll see you then.